Sumita Mishra, Additional Chief Secretary Medical Education Haryana, respected Mr. Alok Nigam, former Secretary Medical Education Haryana, all the esteemed members of Chandigarh Literary Society. You all know this is the society, an NGO for the promotion of art and culture, a network of writers, speakers, intellectuals of Chandigarh and especially Tri-City. I was assigned this duty to introduce Ma. And I don't know how I was given this duty. Someone had thought, because मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा था मैं क्या बोलूँ क्योंकि मेरे पास माँ ही नहीं है. In 2006 माँ चली गई. I am Puneet Girdhar, Dr. Puneet Girdhar. जिस दिन मेरा जन्म हुआ तो मेरी माँ मुझे बताती थी कि जिस दिन तेरा जन्म हुआ उस दिन एक नहीं दो जन्म हुए थे. एक मैं जन्मा था, एक मेरी माँ जन्मी थी. आई बीइंग द एल्डेस्ट. It was very difficult for me to introduce and to stand over this podium on this emotional moment. She named me Puneet. She took this word from Gurbani and she used to say कि जब 3 बार पवित्र होंगे पवित्र 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 पुनीत तब 3 बार पवित्र इकट्ठे होंगे हम पुनीत कहते हैं. And this name was for the pious, for the pavitrata of that relation. And you all know, we all know that is the best relation in human mankind. So किताब की दुनिया के दोस्तों, we are a group of poets and writers. We write because no one listens. That's why now under the patronage of Madam Sumita Mishra. So this was a novel idea because she wants that every month some conference, some seminar, some event should happen apart from the annual conference that we'll be holding in the month of November, the Chandigarh Literary Society, Art Literati. Someone asked me एक बार काफी साल पहले मेरे से पूछा गया कि प्यार मोहब्बत और इश्क में क्या फर्क है. सो उस टाइम शायद मुझे वो रूमी वाला जो रूहानी इश्क है वो उसका पता नहीं था. बट मुझे पता था कि जो मेरी माँ है शी इज नेक्स्ट टू गॉड. सो बीइंग ए मेडिकल स्टूडेंट मैंने जवाब दिया कि सर मुझे इतना सा समझ आता है कि लाइक प्यार मोहब्बत इज बाइलेटरल एंड इश्क इज यूनिलैटरल. मैं तुमसे प्यार करूंगा, तुम मेरे से प्यार करेगा, दिस इज प्यार मोहब्बत. बट विदाउट अनकंडीशनली मैं तुझसे प्यार करूंगा या तुझसे प्यार करूंगी विदाउट एनी एक्सपेक्टेशन, दैट इज इश्क. तो मुझे वो समझ आता था मेरी माँ को देख के. सो जो दो तरफा है वो प्यार है. माँ ने हमसे हमेशा इश्क किया. हम शायद अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ मोहब्बत करते हैं, प्यार करते हैं. मैं हॉस्टल में पढ़ा तो उस टाइम मोबाइल्स नहीं थे, नीचे लैंडलाइन लगा होता था. तो उस पर कॉल आती थी कि ना दिस फोन इज़ फ्रॉम योर होम, दिस फोन इज़ फ्रॉम योर होम. तो हम भागे भागे आते थे. तो अब चिट्ठियों का टाइम था उस वक्त. एंड जब फ़ोन पे हेलो कहते थे तो मुझे याद है कि माँ का वही सवाल, कैसे हो बेटा? हाँ ठीक हूँ। फिर एक दिन, कैसे हो बेटा? ठीक हूँ। फिर किसी दिन, कैसे हो? मेरी सांसें गिनती थी वो, मेरी हालत का उससे, मेरी सांसों की धड़कनों से पता चलता था। दैट इज माँ। जो भी आज मैं हूँ या हम सब हैं, इट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ द नेमतें बरकतें ऑफ माँ। एक कपलेट को मैं अपनी जिंदगी के साथ जोड़ता हूँ कि सख्त राहों में आसान सफर लगता है, मुझे मेरी माँ की दुआओं का असर लगता है। उस टाइम हमारे हॉस्टल में रैगिंग होती तो बड़े खौफ था फर्स्ट ईयर में, तो मैं इस उसके साथ जोड़ता हूँ कि खौफ होता है, डर होता है बच्चे का। सख्त रास्तों में भी आसान सफर लगता है, मुझे मेरी माँ की दुआओं का असर लगता है। और एक मुद्दत से मेरी माँ सोई नहीं चैन से, मैंने एक बार कहा था मुझे डर लगता है। दिस वाज माँ। वैसे सब रिश्ते अजीम हैं दुनिया में, पर माँ का जो पायस पवित्र रिश्ता है, I recently got to know that ma'am Sumita also lost her mother. You all are mothers, or you have mothers or kids to your mothers. So we'll be coming to these sessions. अलग-अलग तरह के मौजू रखे हैं। एक कपलेट के साथ मैं फिर मैम रीटा राणा को इनवाइट करूँगा to conduct. So before that we'll invite our chairperson. बुलंदी देर तक किस शख्स के हिस्से में रहती है। मुनव्वर राना शायर हुए हैं जिन्होंने माँ के ऊपर बहुत लिखा है। उनके बारे में कहा जाता है कि वो गज़लों को कोठों से घर पे ले आए, माँ के ऊपर बहुत कुछ लिखा है। बुलंदी देर तक किस शख्स के हिस्से में रहती है, बहुत ऊंची इमारत हर घड़ी खतरे में रहती है। ये ऐसा कर्ज है, ये ऐसा कर्ज है जो मैं कभी अदा कर ही नहीं सकता, मैं जब तक घर न लौटूं मेरी माँ सजदे में रहती है। So please give a big hand to Dr. Sumita Mishra. I request you to please come on the podium and formally start this day, the very auspicious day, the very pious day. Dr. Sumita Mishra.
I see a lot of friendly faces in front of me. And while driving here, I was thinking that I don't know about you, but like many Indians, I used to think that what is this Mother's Day nonsense, Western concept, एक दिन उठा के साल में, उस दिन you make a big deal about your mother. हम तो Indians हैं, हम तो साल भर फिक्र करते हैं, प्यार करते हैं, we take care of our parents, that whole very superior way of thinking that we have about many things. But now I feel it's actually a good thing. While we may love our parents every day and they might love us, not just parents, but it's good to have a day where you can maybe take a step back and actually realize, celebrate, honor, the whole. Because motherhood is not just you don't become a mother just by giving birth to a baby. That is, a mother gives life, but then motherhood is giving, is creating a whole life. And that each one of us would have felt it that, and I think as you grow older you realize it more. Perhaps with your own parenting you realize it more. The sacrifices, the patience, the cherishing, the nurturing that goes into raising a child, into raising a human being that reflects some of your values and your thinking. So yes, I think we definitely should celebrate Mother's Day, and that is the whole thinking behind this celebration, because we didn't want it coming in the way of your actual Mother's Day. But I hope everyone will be doing special things either for their mothers or their children will be doing for them, hopefully, fingers crossed. Provided they haven't forgotten, maybe you could leave a healthy, sort of gentle hint around the house. Oh, second Sunday hota hai, maybe Mother's Day. Something like that. But, that was the thinking we started with. And the sessions that we have curated today are very dear to my heart because they cover different aspects of this beautiful and yet very challenging journey. I'm sure in every age, mothers would have been, even in the Stone Age, a mother would have been sitting inside a cave and fretting ki pata nahi kinke saath ghumta rehta hai ye. But now the challenges are a little more complex with the age of internet and social media and suddenly the world is inside your home and you don't know which part of that world your child is imbibing or learning from. So our first session is about the challenges of modern day motherhood and how modern mothers are coping with it. So those of us who have children in that age group can perhaps pick up some handy tips and tricks also. Then we have, the maternal instinct is not limited to women who have a baby. So just as the paternal instinct is not necessarily limited to fatherhood. And now we have a whole generation of youngsters who feel that they would rather explore their maternal instincts with other living forms, not necessarily human babies, maybe a pet, or and they call themselves very proudly pet mothers.
Yes.
So and not only that, while motherhood might be a life-changing experience for a woman, and it is unique only to women because yes, only we can give birth and nurture life, but it's not the definition or the defining identity of a woman. It should not be. And that is also a thought that we need to acknowledge and respect just as much as we respect mothers. So the second session is motherhood, not necessarily, but I'm sure we will be touching upon all these aspects. We also then have something, it's a rite of passage that children grow up, they leave home, and then there is the famous empty nest syndrome. And it's funny visiting the empty nest syndrome in reverse. I'll just share a small, which is when I actually wrote a line on that and tweeted that if हमें लगता है कि बच्चे चले गए तो हमारा घर सूना हो गया. But I went back to Lucknow and the house, everyone and everything was the same. But मुझे लगा माँ नहीं है तो घर खाली. So there are many dimensions to that ehsas also. And in the end we're talking, I particularly wanted that we highlight our special mothers because this is something that we need to talk about more, understand more, the unique challenges as well as the unique joys of raising a special child. And so those are our four sessions today, and I hope all of you will be with us here to enjoy, to explore this journey, this celebration of motherhood today. And on behalf of all of you, I think a big mental, physical, whatever, salam, shout out to all our mothers wherever they might be for all their love that I'm sure stays with us wherever we are. And of course a big congratulations and naman to all the mothers in this room. And I would be very remiss if I did not acknowledge all the hard work that has been put in by Rita, Puneet, Lalit, and Afan for putting this event together. So big round of applause. And in advance, thank you to all our speakers. I'm really looking forward to hearing real mothers share their real stories. Thank you.
And once again, ma'am, after this session, you will have your final word. I invite on stage Ma'am Rita Rana for the conduct of these sessions. मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि मैं फिर से फरिश्ता हो जाऊं. मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि मैं फिर से फरिश्ता हो जाऊं. माँ से इस तरह लिपट जाऊं कि बच्चा हो जाऊं. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Puneet. That was such an emotional speech by both of you, and I'm also overwhelmed at the moment. I have my children also here coming to watch me for the first time. And that just reminds me, takes me back to when my daughter was born. And I had a line for her and said, "वो पहली बार रोई और मैं माँ बन गई." माँ एक शब्द ना होकर एक एहसास है जो माँ बनकर ही महसूस होता है, और इसे एक शब्द कहें तो इसमें बच्चे की पूरी दुनिया समाई है. There are many joys to motherhood, but there are equal number of challenges too. And haven't the challenges multiplied in the modern times? Let us try to understand these through a discussion by a modern mom with 3 modern moms. I invite our first panelist, that is Shelly Ridge, who, along with being an educator, is an author, a poetess, a presenter of programs at All India Radio, an actress, and a mother of 2 daughters. Our next panelist is Dr. Suneet Madan, who is an IIT Bombay alumnus and presently working as a joint director in an IT-based company. She's a recognized artist, short story writer, and a poet. But above all, she's a single mother of a 23-year-old son. Then we have Dr. Pratibha, a practicing dental surgeon, an author, a columnist, and she organizes laughter therapy sessions. A fitness freak, and you'll not believe, but a mother of a 20-year-old young man. Moderating the session will be Mehak Varun, who is also a writer, a poet, and an artist. Despite being a qualified lawyer, she chooses to be a stay-at-home mom. Please give a huge round of applause to the modern mom. And Meg, over to you. The session is all yours.
जिसके होने से खुद को मुकम्मल मानती हूँ. मेरे रब के बाद मैं बस मेरी माँ को ही जानती हूँ. Isn't it true to its core? Well, on a lighter note, I read it somewhere that an average mom will have used approximately 7,300 diapers till the baby turns the age of 2. Isn't it strange, 7,300 diapers, and then we challenge our capabilities. So, be it mothers or modern mothers, I think we are pretty good at our jobs. I have 3 beautiful ladies, beautiful mothers with me today, Shelly ma'am, Suneet ma'am, Pratibha ma'am. Since we are here to discuss modern mothers, Suneet ma'am, what do you think? Is there a difference between mother and a modern mother?
Well, a mother is a mother. Modern is just a tag that we landed on. According to the times, every mother has been a modern mother. But at the same time, considering that we are a little privileged as of now, we are privileged from the aspect that we do have technology which is coming to our aid. We can monitor our babies sitting at the workplaces. We can have the work from home aspect, which is courtesy the pandemic, something, I think the only thing positive which came out essentially. So work from home aspect is there. So when we look into it, motherhood, whether it is from the previous era, like ma'am said, the cave till now, it's the same. Just that the challenges keep on increasing with the increase in our revolutions, like the Industrial Revolution, that famously 4.0 that we're talking about. And So likewise, the challenges of the age add on to the aspects of modern motherhood. But talking about there are some issues which are relatively new, which is that earlier we were living in a joint family. So that aspect of somebody to take care of your child and the values that the family values or the cultural that inculcation that was happening, that perhaps is a little amiss now. Now, how the modern mother copes up with it? That's again courtesy the technology. So giving, whether it's the applications that we're using to impart some knowledge, or it is something that we are learning so that we can further implement. That's how I would consider the mother and modern mother.
Absolutely. A mother's love will always remain a mother's love. Shelly ma'am, do you think there's a difference, there's a gap between the relationship you had with your parents and what your daughters have with you today?
There's not much difference between my relationship with my parents and my relationship with my children. हाँ, एक गैप जरूर है, वो है जनरेशन गैप, था है रहेगा. I would like to quote one incident. I used to attend camps. नेशनल लेवल कैंप लगाने के लिए मैं अहमदाबाद थी. नेशनल लेवल का कैंप था तो सभी स्टेट के बच्चे आए हुए थे, स्टूडेंट्स. And there were many students and there were boys, girls. So when we came back, उस time letters exchange हुआ करती थी, phone नहीं था. तो मुझे letter आई. There was one boy who used to admire him actively at the stage, but he used to admire a lot. उसकी letter आई और उसमें लिखा था शाम के पूरे 7 बजे जब हमारा टैलेंट शो होता था, तो शाम के पूरे 7 बजे तुम्हारा चेहरा मेरी आंखों के आगे आ जाता है. ये उसने चिट्ठी दी. मेरी मम्मा ने वो चिट्ठी पढ़ी और पढ़ी. अब मेरी मम्मा को टेंशन हो गई, मेरे चेहरे पर वो लकीरें लगातार बनी रही सारा दिन. मुझे लगा गड़बड़ तो कुछ नहीं है, मैंने कुछ कर दिया हो. I was sitting in my room at 11 o'clock. My mother entered my room and said, "Princey, my neighbor, Princey, I want to talk to you." I said, "हाँ जी मम्मा." दिल मेरा जोरों से धड़क रहा. मैंने कहा, "हाँ जी मम्मा." She said, "तू अगर चाहती है तो हम तेरी उससे शादी कर देंगे." किससे कर देंगे? वो जो प्रभात जिसका लेटर आया. मैंने कहा हाँ, तो उसमें उसने लिखा था ना कि तेरा चेहरा मेरी आंखों के आगे. मैंने कहा मम्मा, he was just a friend, कैंपर फ्रेंड. मैं उसे शादी नहीं करवाई. नहीं तो फिर भी देख लिया अगर मुझे लगता है. And now, how it comes to me when my daughter comes to me, younger one. मम्मा, इतनी देर हो गई मुझे दिल्ली में रहते हुए, एक भी बॉयफ्रेंड नहीं बना. And I said कोई बात नहीं, बन जाएगा, कभी तो बन ही जाएगा. So this is a difference.
This is wonderful, very nice. These days we keep hearing these terms, millennials, Gen Z, and off lately I came to know, I had no idea that kids born between 2015 to 2025, they'll be called Generation Alpha. So, Pratibha ma'am, what do you think? What's your perspective on this? What these terms, they depict?
These days it is very different to come across these words. हमारे टाइम तो बड़े होते थे और बच्चे होते थे. तो जनरेशन का ऐसा नहीं था. दादा है, पापा है और हम लोग थे. That was it. दादी, नानी, मम्मा. अभी actually जो trending है to name the generation, it all started with the two American authors, William Strauss and E. Hall. They released one book in 1991 by the name Generations only. And they gave a list of 7 generations, starting from greatest generation, silent generation, boomers, baby boomers, zoomers. Then now the social scientists are continuing with other names also. Coming down to your question of Gen Millennial, they are also called Generation Y, Gen Y, and Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Gen Y, they are divided on the basis of the ones who were born from 1981 to 1996. And there is a flexibility. Some people are dividing by 15 years span, some by 20 years span. And Gen Z are from 1997 to 2010 or 12. And 2010 onwards is the present generation to be aajkal ke teens hai, they are Gen Alpha. And Gen Millennials have particular characteristics to all the generations. Then why are maybe of your generation, they are
I was about to say that.
they are hardworking, their work-life balance is very good with them, and they are the first generation who are very open with their kids, and they are open, friendly, but with set and clear boundaries. And coming to Gen Z, they are called Zoomers because all the time they move to the screens and all. But they are the first digital natives. There's a little controversial because this millennials are also called first digital natives and Zoomers are also called because America में तो 1981 में maybe उनका शुरू हो गया होगा, but in India this Gen Z is called these digital natives. But this is a generation which is very prone to anxiety, Gen Z, and they are money oriented, they are travelers also. Coming to Gen Alpha, जिसने सबको घुमा के रखा है. Today's teens, they are hyper connected, hyper glued to their screens, and they are the ones who have come into the world into complete digitalization. And there's complete digitalization. They don't know the childhood when there were no phones, no internet and all. But one good thing about this generation is they respect social inclusivity. They are welcoming that. That is one good thing about it.
That's very well put up. Sunita, you have been a single mother. You have been following your passion beautifully, and plus your work so dedicatedly. So how has all this helped you being, following the motherhood? How has it helped you?
When I became a single mother, I realized that my child, my son, is going to look up to me for everything. So I had just that wee little window to recover and get back on my feet. And which actually helped a lot from the aspect that if today my son, who's a veterinary doctor, is able to represent the university thrice for football team, he's an ace dancer, beautiful dancer. And so if he is able to, and he plays lawn tennis, so if he is able to pursue his passions, I think it is because that's the kind of thing I gave to him along with, because I knew there's something which he's going to look up to me for. Whether I am completely engrossed in my profession, whether I'm gloomy, or whether I get up and say, that's it, I am going to make it work, come what may. And that's something which I see today, which I hoped that he imbibes, and that's exactly what happened. That he knows that what come what may, the show must go on, and we have to work, we have to continue with something which is a profession and a passion, something that earns your bread and butter and something which lets your soul thrive. So that's the difference which I find. And believe me, we have single mothers here, and they would know that it's very hard to actually stand up and say, that's it. I am going to follow my dreams so that I lead by example.
I believe that every mother is their children's radio jockey. And Shelly, you are doing something professional. So with the changing time, with such fast-paced society, how has it helped you to become a model mother with your kids?
It's a legacy. Like my mother had gone through very tough time in her life, and there was one thing which I literally took from her, and still it's with me. That is positivity, not to stick to past. Whatever is gone is gone. If we stick to past, that means we close all the doors to go ahead, to move on. So this is what she taught me, and this is what I teach. I have taught directly to my children. I am very clear-hearted and very, blunt or outspoken person. And one thing I say, whatever is in my heart is in my mouth, and this is what my children are. So if I say radio jockey होने के लिए I need to write a lot of scripts. And because I am positive, I will not write anything negative. I never have written ever any negative script ever. And as I am connected to AIR, तो वहाँ का तो protocol है कि आप ज़्यादातर negative मत approach कीजिए. Obviously, it is reaching to the masses, तो positive message जाना चाहिए. So the same thing my children have combined. So वो कैसे देखा मैंने? मुझे लगा my younger daughter is careless. Elder one is okay, quite good, and she takes care when I'm not well. But younger one is quite careless, or she wants all the attention. जैसे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं. और कुछ उसके साथ ऐसा हुआ था कि वो थोड़ी पैम्पर्ड हो गई. ये किस्सा मैं भी यहाँ नहीं सुनूँगी. So वो she will not bother. अच्छा ज़रा एक गिलास पानी लिया. अच्छा ज़रा एक कर दो. आप तो बड़ी अच्छी मम्मी. अच्छा मम्मा प्लीज़ ये कर दो. She will keep on saying this. And one day I fell sick. तो मैंने इसको बताया नहीं. मैंने कहा इसमें क्या करना. And she left everything, her every comfort to take care of me. और उसने मुझे हिलने नहीं दिया. दूसरी बात, I believe in helping others. I always tell my children, God, you are the chosen one. If you can help others, that means you are chosen one by God. So help as much as you can. और मेरे बच्चों ने ये चीज़ मुझसे बहुत अच्छी सीखी. वो सारी पॉजिटिविटी जो मैं स्क्रिप्ट्स में डालती हूँ, जब मैं लिखती हूँ, जब मैं बोलती हूँ, वो कहीं ना कहीं से लेके चले गए. और अभी भी मेरी गाड़ी में कुछ ना कुछ वो रख देते हैं. रास्ते में जा रहे हैं, कोई मिल गया, कोई नीडी है, उसको उठा के दे देंगे. ये सामान है, मैं कहीं और नहीं दूँगी. एक आंटी है, वो 34 में बैठती है, उनके पास घर नहीं है, उनके पास नहीं है. ये दूध के पैकेट उनको दे आते हैं, ये उनको कपड़े दे आते हैं, इनको ब्लैंकेट दे आते हैं. वो मुझसे पैसे लेकर के पॉकेट मनी है हमारी, वो चीज़ें उनको बांटते रहते हैं. दिस इज वन थिंग जो मुझे लगता है कि ऑटोमेटिकली उनमें है. नाउ माय एल्डर डॉटर इज इन कैनेडा, तो शी ऑल्सो लाइक्स टू डू दैट. अब उसके पास इतनी कॉल्स आ रही है. शी सेज आई एम थिंकिंग टू ओपन एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज, जिसमें मैं लोगों को सजेस्ट करूँ अच्छा वहाँ नौकरी है, अच्छा वहाँ जॉब है. एंड शी सेड मम्मा दिस इज टू मच, दिस इज गेटिंग टू मच. आई सेड इट्स ओके, गो अहेड, कीप हेल्पिंग पीपल. मुझे लगता है जैसे बैंक में अकाउंट होता है ना, गॉड हैज ऑल्सो अ अकाउंट. आप चाहो ना चाहो, चाहे अनचाहे, आपका सारा गुड विल, जो भी आप अच्छे काम करते हैं, वो वहाँ कर ही देगा. और जब आपका टफ टाइम होता है ना, गॉड ऑटोमेटिकली यूज यू दैट. So this is what I believe, and this is what my children believe, and this is the positive thing about my children.
That's very true. You don't have to teach your kids. They automatically grasp what you are doing. Pratibha ma'am, you are a dental surgeon, yoga enthusiast, fitness freak, author, and mother. And in today's time, when we crave for the me time, we believe that 24 hours भी कुछ नहीं है. We need 48 hours in a day. How do you manage your me time?
It's very very difficult. Me time, very difficult. तो मॉर्निंग में प्लान किया होता है, लेकिन नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग हो जाती है, हाथ से छूटते चला जाता है. Actually, and it is for all of us. कोई हाउसवाइफ है, चाहे वर्किंग मॉम है, it is difficult. फॉर्मल आंसर बताऊंगी या 3 फॉर्मल बताऊंगी. फॉर्मल आंसर इज prioritize the to-do list. थोड़ा कहना और करने में बहुत डिफरेंस होता है, because at one point of time सभी कुछ प्रायोरिटी लग रहा हो. Secondly, delegate some works. किसको delegate करोगे? हस्बैंड को, बच्चे को? Not reliable. So that's a very rare luxury job to be awake करते हो. Finally, is ignoring the unnecessary and attending to the essentials. सभी essential लगते हैं. Coming to the real life. Like when my son was around 11-12, one day I planned a movie date with him. कि चलो movie देखेंगे और खाना खाएंगे. पापा को छोड़ के जाएंगे, पापा को लेके जाएंगे, हम दोनों चलेंगे. तो I cancelled all my evening appointments, but suddenly patient आ गया, mouth swelling था, there was a lot of pus. I had to go to clinic, and he was looking at me कि आपका हमेशा clinic बीच में फंस जाता है. ऐसा कि 15 मिनट वेटिंग में बैठना, बस मैं pus ट्रेन करके will move. तो उसको बोला, पहले मैंने उसको बोला था कि देखो हम खाना पहले खाएंगे, because मूवी का शो बाद में था. अर्ली डिनर इज गुड. ही वाज फैट एट दैट टाइम, थोड़ा सा वेट हो जाएगा. पहले खाना खाएंगे, अच्छा है, थोड़ा गैप हो जाएगा. पेशेंट आ गया, मूवी का शो नजदीक हो गया, खाना ये शो बाद में खाएंगे, रात को नींद के टाइम में भूख लगेगा. Then tricky. Another day when again I had a date with him, तो उस दिन OPD वॉकिंग OPD आ गई, इमरजेंसी नहीं था. वॉकिंग OPD पे ही धंधा चलता है डॉक्टर का. रेफरल पेशेंट आ जाते हैं और ओपीडी वॉक इन ओपीडी एक पेशेंट नहीं होता, दैट्स अ होल फैमिली, वो भी नहीं मिस कर सकते। इन अ वे हम पेशेंट नहीं मिस कर सकते। ऐसे नहीं 5 मिनट बस मुझे देखना है, खाली थोड़ा सा बता के नेक्स्ट आपको अपॉइंटमेंट देना है। यू हैव टू बी ट्रिकी दैट डे, अगेन डिनर आगे पीछे किया, मूवी आगे पीछे किया, यू हैव टू बी ट्रिकी एंड स्मार्ट। टू सेट रूल नहीं है, प्रायोरिटाइज, डेलीगेशन, फॉर्मल आंसर, उस टाइम पे क्या फिट इन होता है फिट इन कर दो। बाद में कुछ टाइम पे, लंबे टाइम तक यू हैव टू लिसन टू योर तानास, ये आप जो सब कैसा करते
See, all said and done in this, that me time, which that goes a little amiss. So I feel that I could probably add on to it where we need to actually find time for ourselves. Maybe initially a little extra effort, and then later the family gets to know that that me time is really required for sanity of everybody.
Yes,
So automatically for family they will be.
exactly, absolutely.
Since we don't have time, we have hardly 1-2 minutes, and it's Mother's Day, so we kept a very short, funny rapid fire. Just 2-3 questions. It will be short and funny. So, first question: who's your favorite mom from a book, novel, movie, whatever?
It is Vidya Balan from the movie Vishamandar. Yeah.
Sunil ma'am?
2 answers to it. One of Mata Gujri, and the way, that grit that she gave, that's not from essentially any other book, that's essentially about religious stuff. And the other one is from the book Matilda. It was this mother who actually adopted mother who's there. And the way she understands what probably the family would do. And that's another answer.
Sherry ma'am, what scares you the most?
Scares. Actually, nothing scares me. I'm just scared of God. That's it, seriously. I am scared of love. मुझे अंधेरे से डर लगता है. I went to collect some bill from the top floor. Our flat was vacant and there was nobody, and it was around 8 o'clock. And I have not told anybody. Today I'm telling everybody that I'm scared of dark. So I was with my elder daughter and told her to sit in the car. She said, go, you go, and I'm on phone, so you go and get it. I said, okay, no problem. टॉप फ्लोर पर था और मैं चलते थर्ड फ्लोर तक तो पहुंच गई भाग के। थोड़ी देर बाद मुझे याद आया कि आई एम स्केयर्ड ऑफ डार्क। वहाँ रुकी तो मुझे एक बच्चे के रोने की आवाज़ है। अब व्हाट वाज दैट आई डोंट नो। देन आई लुक्ड हियर एंड देयर एंड देन सडनली आई सॉ दैट हमारे बिल्कुल नीचे वाला फ्लैट था वो लॉक था। अब यहाँ कोई रहता होता तो आई माइट हैव नॉट बीन दैट स्केयर्ड, बट आई सॉ दैट वो खाली है, उसके बाद ताला लगा है और बच्चे की रोने की आवाज़ आ रही है। ट्रस्ट मी, यहाँ गया बिल, वहाँ गई मैं, डर डाउन, एंड शी सेड ले आए बिल, मैंने कहा नहीं करो। मैं चलो, I am not going there, so I'm scared of art, otherwise not.
This is the last question, which is very important to us. What is your favorite word while shouting at your kids? I want all 3 of you. It's really important.
Okay, when I shout if something bad happens और जो मुझे पसंद नहीं आता, I will say मूर्ख प्राणी।
सही है।
वैसे तो कुछ और ऐसा वर्ड नहीं होता है, बट कुछ ज़्यादा हो जाए तो बट
I always say all wrong things you learn from your dad बाप पे चला गया पूरा।
And mine is, you are going to the most of this time. It's final. You are definitely going. So this was.
We can have a couple of questions from you.
I was saying मूर्ख प्राणी। पहले जब when I used to say प्राणी, people used to take it as if जैसे मैंने गाली निकाल दी। I'll say प्राणी and say प्राणी means जिसमें प्राण होता है। So you are मूर्ख but you have प्राण।
Thank God you are intelligent. Thank God you are not Punjabi mothers.
No,
Just one question maybe from
Yeah,
the
one question from the audience. If in case anybody has to ask our panelists. Anybody? Our session was really motivating and everybody, it's really inspired by us.
So nobody wants to ask anything from us. Thank you so much. Yeah, we all agree with you.
Ma'am, any question from you?
Oh wait, I was just so impressed. I think it was very entertaining.
Yes.
Very entertaining.
Thank you.
That was a good thank you so much.
Thank you all the panelists.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Meg, for conducting this session so beautifully. And thank you for all the anecdotes and the experiences that you shared with us. We'll all take notes, right? That to be a mother in modern times is demanding. Moms are supposed to be being all, know all, be all, everything, superwoman. Constantly under pressure to give the best to their children. So, is motherhood overrated? Have we put a mother on the pedestal? Is it important for a woman to embrace motherhood to feel fulfilled? Who better than an investigative journalist to look into these answers? So searching these answers is Jupinder Ji, who is a special correspondent with the Tribune and has authored 5 books. He's in conversation with the younger generation on whether motherhood is necessary. Jupinder Ji. Our first panelist is Urvi Sharma, an assistant professor in Department of English at MCM College, who specializes in gender studies. She has conducted many seminars and workshops and has even authored a book on the subject. So, welcome Urvi. Next is Sonia Chauhan, who along with being a corporate lawyer, is an author and a book editor. Recently, her novella, The Maze of Mirrors, was awarded by the Amazon Pen to Publish contest. Sonia. To complete the panel is Sahira Jain, who is currently pursuing BA LLB from National Law University, Sonipat. She's an avid reader, a writer, and a national level Latin dancer too. So, the stage is all yours. Depends on all the beautiful women out here to find out what does the younger generation feel about motherhood.
I hope it is working, yes. Thank you and greetings for the Mother's Day in advance. And please, have some thoughts for the fathers also who have some role to play. Maybe a little role.
There's a Father's Day in June.
Yeah, so then. So as we are running late already, I'll just shoot the questions straight. And my first question is to Urvi. And kindly tell about your family also so that the audience can understand your thoughts better. And our topic is the most interesting and most challenging because I don't think majority of population will agree that motherhood is not needed. Without motherhood, none of us would have been here. So, Urvi, what are your thoughts on this?
So, of course, we are celebrating Mother's Day. I completely agree that.
Please tell about your family.
Okay, so I'm Urvi. I live in Chandigarh with my husband. I don't have any kids. I plan on having 3. But So, but I'm participating in this panel in particular because I firmly believe that it is still a matter of choice. Because I feel, first of all, I feel that motherhood is necessary is kind of a problematic statement because it is a luxury. So first of all, let's start talking about how many women, and in fact humans, parents, are healthy enough physically and psychologically to have children. Then secondly, it is a matter of choice. When we say that motherhood is necessary, we are burdening each woman to, be mothers. And maybe they don't want to choose that, or they don't have the privilege to make that sort of choice. And it's not even a matter of question of privilege. It could be just a matter of choice. I could, every time I think about this particular statement, I'm reminded of Shakuntala Devi, a movie that released in 2020. And it is a story that is narrated from a daughter's perspective. So we see that Anupama Banerjee, who's played by Sanya Malhotra, is constantly talking about how she doesn't want to be a mother. And then she becomes a mother. And she's happy. You know, this woman who had been shouting throughout 1.5 hours of the movie that she doesn't want to be a mother, she's never going to be a mother, is suddenly a mother and she's happy and she's crying and she's joyous. Although that was such a beautiful scene, but I found that very heartbreaking. I mean, of course, this is based on somebody's individual experience, and that is beautiful. Of course, this happened to a particular person, but what I believe is that it made most of the people think that all the women who say that they don't want to be mothers also want to be mothers. You know, they are lying about it, so there's no choice. All of them want to be mothers. So I really feel that we need to kind of, as ma'am also mentioned, that it is not definitive. It is not defined that if you are a woman, you have to be a mother. You choose to be a mother. And I think that is a beautiful choice to make, yes, but at the same time, it has to be a choice. Hence, it is kind of problematized when we say it is necessary.
Yeah, very well put. And I think Sonia should take on from here only that is motherhood a matter of choice?
Okay.
Unless there are accidents.
Yes, absolutely. That is there as well. कभी तो बोलते हैं ना बच्चे भगवान की देन है. That happens. India is the second most populated country in the world. We are now the we've taken over China as I speak. Okay, congratulations to everybody in India. We need more people on earth as if. Anyway, I have some controversial stance. Some of you may not like what I say. Some of you, मुझे अंडे मत मारना please. Anyway, I am 35 years old. I've been married for 7 years. I am thoroughly in love with my husband, and I hope he is also in love with me. He claims to be. I have been asked at least 800 times, when will I have a child? And I feel that it puts very unnecessary pressure, not on my mind, but on my body. And you know, the body is, there is a book called The Body Keeps the Score. All of your, in the book, the author says that, the author basically propounds, and he's a medical doctor, so he propounds that all of your bodily issues are coming from your psychology. A lot of them are coming from your psychology. So, बहुत ज़्यादा कभी-कभी हम लोग अपने ऊपर pressure ले लेते हैं, and subconsciously we, all this pressure is subconscious and we don't realize, you know. And people give very disturbing statements at times, which are absolutely not needed. You know, you can just meet somebody, have a nice time with them, go about your way, without checking up with them. What is the status of their uterus? Fibroids तो नहीं है, कुछ issues तो नहीं है, सब ठीक है ना, अभी से बन रही है. So yeah, it's become a bit sinister now these days. So I just feel like, you know, how a lot of white people have started treating blacks these days. You know, that we have to get out in the streets and protect them. We have to protect their rights. Come, I will protect your rights. You know what the black people actually want? What does the community want to feel included? Just leave them alone. Don't judge them. Don't ask them. Mind your business. Let them live their life. You don't have to check up with women, the status of their biology, their psychology, their genealogy. Just leave us alone. And I'm not saying that I will not have a child. But you know, so I have hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, or it's pretty common, right? So somebody met me and said, "Ab to conceiving mein bahut problem ho jayegi. Kaise conceive karoge ab? How old are you?" And I was like, you know, I'm just not as polite as her, so I'm just rapidly shocked. And you know, all these statements, I am internalizing all these statements. And I myself feel worried at times. You know, one day I'll wake up, I'll be like, oh my God, when will I have a child? And the next day I'll be like, oh my God, I don't think I want to have a child. What do you think? I ask my husband again and again, and he's like, bas kar de. bas kar de, just don't talk to me about it. Let's not talk about it, because something which is so simple and it used to be so relaxed in our parents' times has become very complicated these days. So I just feel like we need to leave women alone. You know, whoever wants to be a mom, even moms have been put on a pedestal. You know, they have been made goddesses and they are living in constant guilt. I have so many friends who are moms and they are living in guilt. Yeah, I'm not spending time with my kids. You know, abhi main isko leke jaati hu mall, abhi main isko fun, whatever that.
Play area.
Yeah, that play area. I'll take him there. You know, I need to do this for my child. I need to do that for my child. And there are so many women who are actively and happily sacrificing to bring up their child, which is a beautiful thing. But please don't, let's not pressurize them more, or let's not guilt women into having children. Because for a lot of reasons, some women don't want to, and some women can't have children. So I don't think that we should be on this side of the line and say that, oh, हमारे तो बच्चे हो गए, तुम्हारे तो हो नहीं पा रहे. You know, surrogate moms are as good as biological moms. Adoptive moms are as good as biological moms. You know, it's hard to pick up someone else's child, which is biologically not your child. So much respect to those people. Some people's bodies don't allow, therefore they have to go for a surrogate. They also live in immense guilt. So I feel like और सारी गिरने बाकी है इस टॉपिक की. अभी मैंने थोड़ी सी खोली है. And I'm going to stop at that.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia. And she's typical Sonia. She's like, and she is consumptive today. You know. So yeah, societal pressure is there, not just on the women but also on the husband. You know, there is this. You know, this generation has double income and no children. There are so many of us. I am also one of them. So, and you won't believe that my wife has this, you know, very stern kind of personality. So no one, not even her mother, talks to her about kids. But everyone comes and gives me advice. You know, and believe me, I know contacts of all the doctors who are in this area.
Vagaries of fatherhood.
Yeah, including Shahi Dawakhana and Bandari.
That's wonderful.
So moving on, we have Sahira, and she has a very interesting take on this. She has got 6 dogs, and so there is a different motherhood which she is going to talk about. What I am scared is that she has written 4 pages, and we don't have time for those. Please, so just go, don't read. Okay. Sorry for that.
Good evening, everybody. I really hope I'm audible. To start with my discussion, I would like to say that she's a mother and she's vulnerable. Just hurt a child and you will see. She's strong. Just hurt a child and you will see. She has been elevated. She's a mom. She has been demeaned. She's just a mom. She's full. Loving a child so completely will do that to you. She's empty. Loving a child so completely will do that to you. Who says she can't have it all? She has everything. To expand the horizon just a bit more, I believe that these lines hold true for pet parents as well. I have had, my family has raised 6 dogs and I've had the wonderful opportunity to care and raise a few. My last dog, Max, he was a beautiful golden Labrador and he had the similar quirks to that of a child. Cuddling and building them special forts when the thunderstorm hits, check. Bringing him to the doctor on the intuition that something might not be right, even though it turns out just to be a sneaky allergy, check. Coming home to them and feeling fulfilled, check. Baby-proofing the whole house just because they don't get hurt, check. Traveling with them, getting their treats, toys and whatnot, just to see the gleam in their eyes, check. The purpose of these illustrations was to bolster the conclusion that motherhood does not necessarily have to be caring for a human child.
it means caring for a child necessarily, it does not have to be that of a human. It can be, it can be any child. And as like we don't have time, I will not elaborate any
Oh,
further.
no, you can. Go ahead. So what are your dogs? What are the breed of your dogs?
One was two were Labradors, one was a German Shepherd, one was, I believe he was a Greyhound, and two, I believe, were Pomeranians. Different breeds, different quirks, different ways of caring for them. So even when you have to care for a pet, you get to know the intricacies, of how to care for a baby. I'm not equating a human child with that of like a fur baby.
You can. I have a dog and I am known as my dog's mommy in my society, so you can.
And as the times are modernizing and people are becoming more career oriented, some people might not want to invest their time, energy and money on bearing and raising a child, so they choose to adopt pets, and they proudly call themselves as pet parents. And I too am a pet parent, and I strongly believe that. Thank you.
Thank you. As we are part of a literary society, I believe that your piece of art, can you be a mother to your creativity? This is question to all of you. If you are a painter, a writer, poem, is this like giving birth to something?
I mean, that's a very tricky question, really, but that actually gives me an opportunity to talk about the term mother. When Dr. Geeta Rana started this particular session, she talked about, if we try to celebrate or elevate, motherhood, the answer is yes, we do. And the thing is that the problem with, celebrating the term, I mean, there's no problem. It's good to celebrate Mother's Day and the idea of motherhood, yes, definitely. But when we, celebrate the idea of mother being a certain sacrificial figure, who's sacrificing her own happiness, her own time for the welfare of the children, we are actually validating those sacrifices. We are not acknowledging the complexities of those sacrifices. I mean, it's not bad for a woman to sacrifice, for any person to sacrifice anything for the sake of, their loved ones. But to celebrate that or to validate that is to validate their suffering. So when we say, just, how we elevate or romanticize this idea of motherhood, also, because I really love this movie, Shakuntala Devi, and it gave me an opportunity to look at the idea of mother from a very pop cultural perspective. There's this kind of, idea that if you are a thinking woman, you cannot be a good mother. That is also projected in the movie itself. It is, I don't know how many of you have seen movie Shakuntala Devi, which is based loosely on the life of Shakuntala Devi. So there's a scene where, she decides to sacrifice her journal. So this is a journal where she has, collected all the archives of the awards, of the money, of all the kind of, the honors that she has won throughout her life for her mathematical talents. So now she decides to get rid of that journal because the daughter is not happy, because the daughter feels that the mother is not giving her enough time. So she gets rid of that journal, and in its place she brings another journal which is full of the pictures of Shakuntala Devi and her daughter. Now there's nothing wrong with somebody having a journal for their children. We do it all the time. I mean, that's such a beautiful souvenir to have. But to swap that, to replace, your talent with that, it kind of pits your motherhood against, your talent, against your intellect, as if you can't be both at the same time, as if these two ideas contradict each other. I mean, I'm not a mother, but those of you who are, I'm sure can only
talk about how much more intellectual you become once you have another dimension added to your whole experience, to your whole being. So when we talk about, our art or our creativity, I mean, kind of mothering or being a mother to our creativity becomes such a problematic nuance, because you are right, we don't talk about similar things with respect to fathers. I mean, we would never have a discussion on whether, fatherhood is necessary or
We will
not.
have in June.
We will. That would be
So
a
what I meant was, Taslima Nasreen said that when she is writing a novel, she is feeling labor pains. And when the novel, she is able to finish it, it's like a delivery for her.
Let me take you up on
Yeah.
that.
Please.
You finished?
Yeah, so I'm just going to, I also feel that this is also again a luxury for mothers, because I'm sure they have undergone such kind of pain and labor to find with that sort of idea or that sort of feeling with their creativity. That's it. Thank you.
Those are some fair points. I kind of agree with you, but I'll build up on it a bit. But first, let me answer your question, Vipender. I am a novelist, and I write and I submit, and I get like scores of rejections in advance. So I am completely immersed in the creative process. So whenever I write something, I can only give you my personal example, just as you gave Taslima ji's example. तो जब मैं कोई कहानी लिखती हूँ या कोई नॉवल लिखती हूँ और वो पब्लिश हो जाती है, so then I'm like, okay, now what? अब तो हो गया ना? But I think what happens with moms is the baby comes and now you can't say what's next. That is the project that's going to go on until your life at least. I mean, everybody hopes that जब तक हम जिंदा हैं हमारे बच्चे को हमने देखे and everything, right? So I think that's the point about that's sort of a difference, yeah. So I can just say that सारे novels can be like बहुत सारे बच्चे, तो bring up करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बस निकालते रहो. You're just delivering, and the child's going to take care of itself. It could be that. So that is one difference. And another point, like celebrated author Akshanda Jalan, she's a political author and she also writes fiction. So she has 2 daughters, and I once went to an interview of hers where she said that she is a writer first and a mother second, and she has garnered hate for that. And that is where I sort of agree with you, and she brings and be a mother and an artist, and we can, some of us can choose to put our art before motherhood. That should not be so taboo. Because when we say that, okay, you're a mom, अब सब छोड़ दो, अब यही करना है, इसी को priority बनाना है, whoever wants to make it a priority is very good for them, but whoever doesn't want to make it a priority should not be ostracized or witch hunted. People, maybe there are some women, हर एक इंसान में 100 इंसान छुपे होते हैं, so हर, maybe जब वो artist बने उनका वो इंसान जान जाए और वो बोले that I am a writer first and a mother later. And she said that to her elder daughter, by the way, who got really pissed with her and maybe didn't speak to her for some time after that, I don't know. But I think it's all right, because when I was growing up, I'm a Fauji kid. And when I was growing up, my father, I hardly remember that my father really was involved in my upbringing. But my mother really was, and she sacrificed a lot of things. And she has told me, as many women of her generation, they had lesser options, and back then there was no internet, you couldn't work from home, as Sunit pointed out, and there were very less options, right? So I feel like, yes, a lot of women had to simply be a mom because there wasn't much else to do. But now there are a lot of things, and let's just not hate women for prioritizing something over motherhood. Motherhood is not, that would be a disservice to motherhood.
Yeah, let's have Saira's thought on this, and then we will have audience questions.
Let's not have
No audience questions on us. Yeah. That's why I asked only 2 questions, rest are all audience. Please, Saira.
I have been a writer since the past 7 or 8 years, and I haven't looked back since. I started when I was in class 8, but over the years I've come to realize that writing something or producing something, it really is like an intricate process. You have to think, you have to weave your thoughts, you have to put emotion into it. Like, I might not be in a position to, equate writing to that of, birthing a child. That would be very wrong. But giving something your blood, sweat, and tears, I believe that you deserve to be called. You deserve to get to call the mother of that creation. So I write articles, poetries, and quotes. I do believe that I am the mother of those creations because वो चीज़ मेरे अंदर से निकल के आ रही है. So being a mother to something that I created, I believe that is correct. Thank you.
That's an audience question.
Yeah, one more. Because I've been listening to Sonia only, nobody else was available here.
That's not right.
And then the quotes only, just for the fun sake only. You talked about the creativity. When are we going to have your creation?
This is
societal pressure again.
This is the 801st time now somebody has asked me again. Very soon. That's the answer I give everyone. Very soon, sir.
Okay.
You'll inform me.
I would share another personal experience I had. And I really get it, which is why I really wanted this session to be there. Because, as I said earlier, so I love being a mom and it's been a tremendous learning for me. But come on, that doesn't define me and it should not define any woman ever. So, but talking about relatives, I had with Thai Saas or something, and I have 2 daughters. And this is some time back. So then we kept a third dog. We already had 2. She actually said, "These are kutte hi rakhna, to bachche hi the word being to try practically, you might have a son, you might strike gold for the family this time. And talking about pet mothers, it's not either or. I'm very happy to transition from having the kids at home to having 2 dogs rule the house. And being a pet mom, my children say, these 2 are living the best life.
Yeah, when I'm really sad, I say, "Kash main se lab hoti kisi ke ghar mein." This is it's the best life.
They have that. I feel very successful as a pet mom.
Any other questions?
I think we over with the next. Thank you so much for this insightful discussion. And we get into the minds of the younger generation to see how they doing. I remember when I was expecting my daughter, the last phases are always bad. You can't breathe, you can't say, you can't do anything. And I said, अरे एक बार बेबी आ जाए उसके बाद मैं सो गई मुझसे आप पूछे मैं कब सोई. So coming back to the session again, we understood that mothering is difficult, not mothering is equally difficult, but there's one thing common in all the mothers, that they spend a lifetime in preparing their children to take that flight, so that they can soar high. But when the young ones fly away, leaving behind an empty nest, it is the mother left behind who finds herself trying to fathom as to what life beholds further. Her role changes. She has to rediscover herself. But she's always anticipating a flying visit from her little ones. माँ, मैं माँ बनकर ही तो तुझे समझ पाई. जब तूने मुझे विदा किया होगा, वो तेरा दर्द आज जान पाए. Sharing their experiences in dealing with an empty nest are 3 amazing mothers. We have Lily Soren, an internationally acclaimed multilingual poet, author, columnist, and a radio show host. She has won over 70 international and national awards. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Renuka Salman, the former Director of Public Relations at Punjab University, Chandigarh. She's a public relations professional with 36 years of experience and currently holds the position of Vice President North with Public Relations Council of India. Welcome, Renuka ma'am. The third panelist is Dr. Sonika Sethi, an Associate Professor of English at SD College Ambala, Kent. She's a columnist, an editor, and a writer with 7 books to her credit. They will be in conversation with Dr. Sangeeta Handa, a professor of English who retired as the principal of Government Yoga College, Patiala, and currently guides research scholars. 7 articles of hers are published in national and international journals. She's also written 2 books and edited a few. I welcome all these awesome mothers here, and we're looking forward to hearing what you all have to say about the emptiness.
August audience and the wonderful panelists that we have today with us, Madam Lily and Renuka and Sonika ji. Actually, it's very, amazing that after such 2 discussions, modern mothers and single and mothers, this is going to be a different take on emptiness. The metaphor that is taken, it is an avian metaphor, and sometimes I feel that it is debatable whether the nests can ever be empty. I know that the word emptiness generates a sort of a serious note, an emotional one, but I'm sure that after discussing with our 3 panelists, there will be some other kind of take also on this serious issue. So, not taking much time, I would like to ask the question. I'll address it to Madam Lily first, and then the same question can be taken up by the 2 panelists as well. Why do you think your nest is empty? And kindly please acquaint us with your life experience about that.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for that wonderful beginning. So, it's a joy to be with 2 of my favorite people here. Thank you all for being here. So, I was a mother of 2, and now I have 1 daughter. She is a dentist and she lives in Michigan, America. She's married, and I'm also a grandmother. Grandmother to 3 very sweet little grandchildren, 2 daughters and a son. So the nest became empty pretty soon, actually, because the daughter went off to study medicine, and there was just the boy at home, and he was a schoolboy. So that happened long ago, and later, now when I go home, when my husband and I open the door, it's a quiet house. So that's how I feel it's empty, because I might come across some chunky jewelry in a drawer belonging to my daughter. I might see some medals that belong to my late son. I might chance upon some music which I knew that particular child loved. So the nest has a way of, throwing up memories, though it is empty. So my way of dealing with it is to, just keep the happy memories with me. And I don't grieve, quietly. I don't mind the tears flowing. I let them flow. That's my way of healing. I don't hide behind, I only hide behind a red lipstick, or the bright one. That's the only thing that gives me courage when I have to face the world on a somber note. But generally an empty nest, if I look out of the sitting room window and I see a birdie making a real nest with twigs, I worry for her, worry for that mother, because she's giving them the wings to fly, but she's going to be left alone. So the grieving finishes, and then then you revive, and then you find togetherness with the spouse, and we are rediscovering each other and having more fun, He's more with me, he's driving me around, and there's less to worry about tiffins and boyfriends, and munda kitte gaya, stuff like that. That's my emptiness.
Actually, thank you so much. It's a very interesting, the way you have expressed it. Actually, I was to end up and wind up my conversation, but you have already answered what I was going to ask in the end. Renuka ji, will you carry the same question and talk about your take on it?
Thank you everyone, good evening here, and it's such a pleasure to be part of this panel. So friends, first of all I would like to share that I am a mother to 35-year-old daughter who is married and settled in Delhi. And before that also she was away from home after studies for her career, so she had to go out. And another one is plus 31 years, she's in Paris, she's working there, moving to London in June for work only. So yes, nest is empty, but I want to add here that, you know, for parents who have brought up their children, they have put up their whole life bringing up and nurturing them, and you know, spending time on their bringing up. It is like an umbilical cord, you know. Once they come out, their life starts. Our duty is only till they are on their own. It is our duty to nurture them. It's no obligation on our children. It is our duty to bring them up, to give them good morals, to give them good teachings, to give them a comfortable home and the family values. After that, I think yes, when we say they are launched into adulthood, so they have to fly. They have to fly. Though it is sometimes very, very, you know, emptiness is there in our home, but then I think it gives us joy also when you see that your children have left you for a better world. There is no choice. I think 99% of families or women sitting here or men sitting here have children who have gone out for their future. So I think we are, you know, progressing with the time. It was earlier that you study there, you stay there, you get married there, your children are there. You know, everything is revolving around the same city, and today children have to go. So I think it is empty. You have a lot of memories with your children, but then technology has also brought us closer to them. We can talk to them 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. They may say, why are you calling so many times? You have no other work. So this is how we have to deal with it. It is their world, they have flown, the birds have to fly, and it's our duty to just, you know, be a support and encourage them for whatever life they have chosen for themselves.
So the next question, I come to a very young mother, Sonika, and I think her daughters have, you know, relocated to new places very soon. So what's your take on that, Sonika?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm actually floored by that compliment. So I need to give a brief background to why my nest is empty. See, it started 26 years ago when I was engaged to Mr. Sethi. Actually, I have not envisioned the kind of life that unfolded in front of me. हमें ये कहा गया था, my mother is sitting there, she's a witness. हमें ये कहा गया था कि लड़का ONGC में पोस्टेड है. अभी उसकी पोस्टिंग बॉम्बे हाई ऑफशोर है. 2-3 साल में उसको फैमिली स्टेशन मिल जाएगा, then the girl can move it. आज 26 साल हो गए. आज 26 साल हो गए, वो लड़का वहीं पोस्टेड है. और वो लड़का ही है. इसमें थोड़ा सा कसूर, culprit, my mom is also a party to it. You know, कोई पूछता था बेटी की शादी करोगे, तो she would give a declaration. 50 किलोमीटर के रेडियस से बाहर लड़की नहीं देखी मैंने। बेटी को तो 26 साल से 50 किलोमीटर रेडियस में रखा हुआ, वो बेचारे किसी और के बेटे को हजारों किलोमीटर फेंका हुआ है। Anyway, so my husband has that kind of job. He is posted offshore, and it's like this: कि 15 days he has to stay there at Bombay High, and then for 15 days he come back to Ambala, where we are living as a family. And right now, my elder daughter, who has completed her engineering from NIT Kurukshetra, August, she's leaving for US to pursue her MS. The younger one, she qualified for her law entrance, and now she's pursuing her law honors from Nalsar, Hyderabad. So one is in Bombay, other one is in Hyderabad. The elder one, she'll be flowing to US soon. अभी भी वो कुरुक्षेत्र में है. She's not home. So I have a job, full-time job, 9 to 2. But in the afternoons when I come back home and I unlock the door, the emptiness hits like a blast of hot air. Evenings, they are unpassing. Though I write, I keep myself busy, I keep myself involved in this or that activity, but still, sometimes evenings are so unpassable. I do not enter my kids' room. No way, I cannot do that. But sometimes I even dread to enter my own bedroom. Because there's nobody. Although, जिस type की job मेरे husband की है, I know most of the men sitting here would love to give their right arm for it. कि 15 दिन बीवी दिखाई ही ना दे. They would love to have such kind of family settlement. But for me, of course, for 15 days it becomes an empty nest, and I really long to have somebody beside me, because I'm a very tactile kind of a person. I long for a human touch, and there's nobody to give that kind of a hug or a peck or holding hands. So that kind of feeling, yes, engrosses me at times. But I'm very fortunate. This is the platform where I must confess that I'm very fortunate that last year CLS happened to me. I entered the CLS family, and they just embraced me like a family member, and I have been so much involved with every activity that I have somehow started coming out of that emptiness feeling.
You really made it a mix of, laughter also and some sadness. But the thing is, sometimes I feel that emptiness is a universal phenomenon now. Whether girls or boys, people have to relocate. And if we go by this, I'm not very good at reciting things, but जिस तरह गुरु नानक जी ने क्या कि सिरा कि जे ग्रो करना है तो उजड़ जाओ, this is what he said. So sometimes I feel that going away of the children, like it's not like happy emptiness the way the birds feel, because they never come back. But nowadays this exodus that is happening world over, this diaspora relocating, so it is in a way a kind of a growth for both parents also and children. And when there is so much of connectivity, that emptiness feeling is a kind of, sometimes I feel, a virtual reality only. So my next question, but I'm surprised that all the panelists today have girls actually, and the emptiness phenomena is not with the girls only, even the boys go away. What is your take on this, Madam Bibi? And then I will come to the same question should be taken up by others also. Yeah. What about boys when they go?
So I had a young boy who was in his final year of engineering. He was 22 years old when he was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma in the 4th stage, and it was a huge tumor weighing on his heart. And one night actually he came up to our room and he says, "Okay, Mom, I can't breathe. I need to see a doctor." So this is a very, visualize a very bright person, a very popular guy who would be, in the newspaper headlines as Teenage Titan, Young Turk, Govind Shahbaz Singh, a whole page on him. He was multi-talented. He would write, he would make Android apps, he would make music, he would teach slum children, and he was a blessing to have around. Sonamisi, he was blonde-bearded and light-eyed. Besides, he was a very tender-hearted young chap. So, he had never woken us up at night. So that day I told my husband, "Can you let me go?" But he being a Fauji, he could have easily said, "He should have stayed But we went because the Chandimandir, command hospital is close to where we live. And the doctor there was a young chap who was, studying for his MD. He didn't look up. He said, "Ma'am, I'll give you a short up, subhe aa jana." And I name dropped. I said, "Look here, my cousin is a cardiologist. We need to see. He can't breathe." So the moment he put his, stethoscope, he said, "Oh my God, there's something wrong with his heart. You need to get him admitted." So next morning, we got him admitted and our lives changed. So he was diagnosed with, diagnosed wrong first, with non-Hodgkin's, given a wrong chemo, then diagnosed. So our life came to a different turn because we nursed him for 1 whole year with chemo and radiation, and then he came out of it. He was in complete remission for 3-4 months, so he had come back. So we planned our daughter's wedding. His friends gave a big party, Govind Shahbaz, welcome you back to life, and all of that. So the Gana Bajana started, and his sister's wedding was planned. And 5 days before she was to be married, she had come from the US. He died. He died on a freak treadmill test. It sounds very surreal now to me that he was not to be put on this kind of test after so much chemo and radiation on his heart. But somebody did it, and we had to lump it because his friend said, "Ma'am, we must report it. We must." I said, "No, he's gone. What can I do? Let me just get the girl married." She had come to be married, and 5 days later, we wore our nice clothes, and all the 15 children who were going with us to the wedding had to be told, "Bache, aapne nahi jana, Govind to hai nahi duniya mein." So 2 boys went with me, and to help get the Didi married, and we all looked nice enough finally. It was like like you quoted Guru Granth Sahib, that dukh sukh asi ek saath dekhya. We lived it, so we came home to a really empty nest. The girl flew off to the US after being married with her brother not there, and we came home to a nest with no child at home. So Munde Janne te bura lagta hai, his songs come to my mind, Arif Lohar's Jubili, his hand around my arm, how I would check up with him, ki main kaisi lag rahi hu, theek hai, jaun, and he would tell me. So that it is very difficult to lose a child, and to grieve a child is even more tough.
I don't know whether I should be asking you this question because you have daughters only.
I have daughters, but I think
if you are able to answer
I
that.
can add to something about this question. Yes, Lily's story is very different, and it is a moment. It is a lifetime.
Bring it closer.
It's horrible. So, but I have daughters, but I still feel, the mother of a son also has a very, very big responsibility in today's society, because the men are also going out. The men are going out, they are staying alone, they are managing their life. See, it was like earlier they used to stay in a family and mother was always there and grandmother was always there, and even if he is married and he is taking a cup of tea, making a tea for wife, or taking a glass of water himself, the dadi or the mother will come, "Oh munda, aap le rahe hain pani, wo to main deni hai." So that kind of protection was there. So in today's time, I think the onus lies on the mothers how to bring up their children, daughters and sons equally. It is important for a mother. The challenging role lies on the shoulders of the mother, and when they go out, it is equally bad for the mothers because their children have gone. But then I think if you raise a son in a better way, he will deal with the girl in a better way for his better life ahead. This is what I think.
Thank you. Sonika, I would like to ask you that does this feeling of emptiness overlap with the feeling of girls finally settling in their new homes and family? Does it overlap even now? Because they have to go one day and they settle in another house. Since your children are not that grown up and not married as yet, what is your take on this?
Ma'am, I think I would like to flip this question and take that note on myself. They are young, they will adapt themselves wherever they go. It's the parents who have to struggle with the emptiness syndrome. So I would instead like to tell how I learned to cope with this emptiness syndrome. You see, I was reading Gitanjali Shree's Tomb of Sand the other day, and there are two protagonists in the novel, Amma and Beti. And the Beti, she finds one day the Amma struggling to get up from the bed, and she is almost lost. So Beti says these words about Amma. She says, Amma immersed herself in motherhood. She lost herself in motherhood. Now she is reborn. And when a child is born, it cries, it laughs, and it learns to crawl. So I found the answer to my queries, and I thought that this is what is happening to me. For 23 years of my life, I immersed myself in motherhood. I was a doctor. I gave up my profession because when patients would come in the middle of the night, I would not leave behind my child and go and attend them. My husband would not be there. I would not leave my only child. So I gave up that profession. I'm good as a housewife. Somehow things materialized in a different manner and I became a professor. Then I thought that teaching is good for my children. Teaching profession is good. I have to go for a 9 to 2 job. I come back, I send my children to school, then I leave for my job. By the time I come back, my children and my coming back time overlaps. So everything went perfectly well for those few years. I did not have any social life. I did not attend any kitty parties. I did not attend any relatives' events, marriages, birthday parties, nothing at all. I did not go to movie theaters. I did not even watch television for about 12 years. My husband always thought that if they did boxes on all the time, the kids would sit in front of it. So you try and avoid the television and let the children indulge in some creative pursuits. So we would just sit and read books. I found my solace in books during those years. But when the children left, my whole individuality, my whole being was lost. By that time I was lost. After 23 years I was lost. I did not know how to have a life of my own. I had lost my individuality somewhere down the line. So I discovered that now is the time when I should look up for something. So for all those mothers who might start with this phase, I would like to advise them, please don't lose yourself for motherhood. Motherhood is good, but you must retain your individuality somewhere. Otherwise you will be in for a shock. Believe me, after my first daughter left, I was slightly shocked, but I was prepared for that kind of a setback. But when the second one also left, I was completely, I was in dominance. I did not know what to do. And that is when friends like you started calling me for book launches, for events. And right now, from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all those friends who ever invited me.
Sonika
son or daughter, anybody who leaves the house, the emptiness is there, but then there the challenge of the mother begins again. After nurturing, sending them, the challenge again begins, because with your children away from you, it is the job of the mother to see how they are now, flowering in the new environment. How they are doing in the new environment. It is not the challenge of the parents itself. It is the challenge for the young children who have gone out. So it is the double duty of the parents, the mother, to see that the child there in that environment is also settling well, and you are pushing them, encouraging them, and showing your empathy, sympathy. I'll just give you one small example. My daughter is in Paris. It is a lot of racism is also there in Europe, and no Indians are there. No Indian food is available. Indian friends are not available. French are not very friendly. So it is loneliness from morning till night. So sometimes the child, if she is crying on the phone in front of you, from 1,000 miles away, can you do anything? You cannot. If the child is in the dig, will you also start crying and fall with her? No.
I think
it is there where you have to hold yourself and push them and encourage them and give them that strength and give them that smile and push them. So this is where the strength of the mother comes. You may have tsunami inside, but then you have to bring a smile on her face.
Thank you.
That is important.
Thank you. But on the lighter side, I always feel, since my daughters are also settled abroad, and I also feel, we'll talk later about it, that when the nest is empty, the relationship between husband and wife improves also.
Yes.
Because after all that juggling, running here and there. So I think this is another kept for another day. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. But some are more special than others because they are gifted with special children. They have a unique set of joys and struggles and have probably redefined motherhood. Our endeavor to bring them on the forum is so that we can understand their journey and applaud them. I request you all to welcome these mothers with the loudest applause. Our first panelist is Dr. Jasmine Chopra, mother of 14-year-old Daksh, who is on the autism spectrum. She is an anesthesiologist presently working in pharmacovigilance so that she is able to pay adequate attention to her son. We can hear her son speaking right behind me. The next panelist is Sharmita Bhinder, a successful entrepreneur, a trainer, mentor, coach, who runs an NGO, Empower, for special children. Her son Manav is also on the autism spectrum. Our last panelist of the day is Manju Sachdeva, a speech and language trainer who left her job as an educator to be there for her younger daughter Dia, who is hearing impaired. Talking to these awesome, strong ladies is Sarika Dhupar, a doting mother of 2 young boys, who is a creative writer by heart, a researcher by passion, an academic by profession, and a crusader of social issues. So, a big round of applause for these awesome mothers. Now, Sarika ma'am, the stage is yours. We're waiting to listen to you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for the session, and thank you, Simran ma'am, for giving us this opportunity to come out with our emotions. So, happy Mother's Day to all of you in advance, all the mothers, beautiful mothers sitting here, all the daughters and all the sons. So we all need to celebrate mothers. And here I have with me in the banner, on the banner we have beautiful, special moms. Actually, I call them super moms. Rita ma'am has already introduced them. She's given a vibrant introduction of the work profile. But I would like each one of them to introduce themselves as they perceive themselves in the capacity of a mother. So first, I'll ask Dr. Jasmine Chopra, mother of Daksh Chopra, to introduce. Daksh mom will introduce. Okay, great.
Daksh Hanina, mommy is going to talk about. So, hello everyone, I am Jasmine and I am proud mother of Daksh, as you can all hear him. I love you a lot, Bacha, and as a mother, I would say that thank you Daksh for being in my life, because that is why I am a mother and I am here today. And I have been very lucky to be his mother, because I have evolved as a much better person, a much stronger and a confident person being his mother. I have learned a lot from him. He's been my best teacher, and in fact, I have not been lost in motherhood. I have evolved in motherhood. I have grown in motherhood. Each and everything. And it is said that when a child is born, जब एक माँ अपने बच्चे को first time हाथ में लेती है ना, she instantaneously starts loving the child. Whether the child is neurodiverse, whether he is neurotypical, he is handicapped, उसने बड़ा होके terrorist बनना है या scientist बनना है, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So the mother just loves the child the very first moment. And as a mother, I think I am a loving and a caring mother, but a bit strict mother. With him, I have learned to spend each and every, I have learned to celebrate, in fact, each and every happy moment of the life, rather than waiting throughout the life for just big moments. So each and every day we have new experiences, and each and every day we are celebrating something. And before he was diagnosed, from a person, I was a person who used to beg God every day for everything. भगवान आज ये कर देना, आज ये job interview, आज ये हो जाए, like a beggar. And after he was diagnosed, my perspective changed so much that actually I am thankful to God each and every day. I have stopped praying. I am just thankful to God.
So much.
And I aim to give the same respect and understanding to him as I have received from my mother, who's also here. She is Satya Hira. And thank you so much, Mom and Dad, for all that you have done. Whatever I am today, I am because of you. And happy Mother's Day to you and all the lovely mothers over here. So thank you so much.
मानव सिंह बिल्डर की मॉम शर्मिता बिल्डर, तो आपसे भी हम जानना चाहेंगे कि आप मातृत्व को कैसे देती हैं? How do you describe yourself as a mother?
Good evening, everybody. My son is a high-functioning autistic child, and Manav at the moment is going to be 22 years. I have a very different take on motherhood. Probably I had a very different mother at that moment. I didn't realize. But I was never, I'm an only child, and I was raised as a human being. I kind of really grew up in a very gender-free environment where there wasn't a difference between girls and boys. I am a Bengali, and I got married into a Jatsik family where it was supremely patriarchal. And that's the time I realized, oh my God, there is a difference between men and women. And so when I had a special child,
Luckily, he was a boy. I had 2 boys, so that was an advantage. And Manav was not able to move his lower body. And we were told that maybe gross motor and maybe brain issues. Long story, today he did his 12th from Vivek High. He was one of the few autistic children in India to take up PCM in 12th. He took psychology as an additional subject with computers to understand his own brain. And he taught all over India, though these things don't matter to me, but I'll explain why. That with Manav, I learned that every human being has ability. And if we focus on ability, then life becomes different. So I think that's where motherhood of a special child changed me. That I realized that I have to focus on my ability, my elder son's ability, and we all will be much happier.
That's so wonderful. और हमारे साथ हैं दिया। दिया मेरी स्टूडेंट है, अभी उसने बोर्ड का एग्ज़ाम पास किया है और उसके मामा भी हमारे साथ हैं और हम उन्हीं से जानेंगे, मंजू सचदेवा जी से, कि उनके लिए मातृत्व क्या है।
मदर, एज ए मदर, मैंने इसकी डिसेबिलिटी को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए कि इसको तो मैंने नॉर्मल चाइल्ड ही बना देना है एक दिन। मैंने मन में ठान लिया था जब भी ये, क्योंकि ये इतनी क्यूट थी, इतनी वो इंटेलिजेंट फेस से लगती थी, तो मैं तो इतनी शॉक्ड होगी कि मेरा बच्चा नहीं हो सकता डिसेबल। तो मैंने इसको एक दिन ऐसा आएगा कि मैं इसको नॉर्मल बनाऊंगी। तो तब से मैं इसके ऊपर वर्क कर रही हूँ और इसका 100% डीबी लॉस था, मतलब टोटली डेफ। और फिर मैंने इसको इतनी ट्रेनिंग दी, आज ये नॉर्मल बच्चे जैसे बात कर रही है। सिखा के तो मेरे को इतनी इंस्पायरेशन मिली, मैंने दूसरों के बच्चों को भी लेना स्टार्ट कर दिया। मैंने कहा क्यों किसी का बच्चा, मैंने बहुत लो फीस पे अपने घर बुलाने स्टार्ट किए बच्चे। और मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा जब मैं दूसरों के बच्चों को विदिन 4-5 मंथ बोलना सिखा देती थी। तो फिर अभी थोड़ा टाइम पहले एक बच्चा आया, जब 1 ईयर पहले, तो उसका हेयरिंग लॉस पीछे से, सामने से वो नॉर्मल बोल रहा है, बट वो पीछे से नहीं रिस्पॉन्स अच्छा दे रहा था। तो मेरे को आता था, टेक्निक आती थी, ऑडिटरी ट्रेनिंग की, तो मैंने उसको पीछे से ऑडिटरी ट्रेनिंग दी, मतलब पूरी डेडिकेशन से करती हूँ मैं वर्क, रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड वर्क होता है मुझे, ये मेरे पैशनेट है।
मंजू जी की ये बातें हम करेंगे आपके, जानना चाहेंगे कि आप क्या कहते हैं। आप अभी आपकी 2 बेटे हैं शायद, है ना? और बड़ी बेटी कनाडा, और दिया जो है ये मेडिकल की स्टूडेंट हैं। और मैं ये बताना चाहती हूँ, आई वांट टू पुट इन हियर कि जो इनका एफर्ट रहा है एज अ मदर, आई टेल यू, अभी बिकॉज आई एम बायोलॉजी लेक्चरर देयर एट स्कूल, और जब प्रैक्टिकल्स होते हैं, एक्सटर्नल आते हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली हमें पता होता है जिस बच्चे में कुछ कमी होती है हम पहले से एक्सटर्नल को बता देते हैं, ताकि कुछ भी ऐसा मतलब कुछ भी ऐसा फीलिंग नहीं आना चाहिए ना एक्सटर्नल में ना स्टूडेंट में कि थोड़ा उसके लिए ट्रॉमेटिक हो जाए। तो मैंने कहा इसको थोड़ा इशू है हेयरिंग इम्पेयरमेंट का। एक्सटर्नल बुला रही थी, 3-4 बच्चे एक साथ, मतलब शी वाज कंडक्टिंग द वाइवा फॉर 4 स्टूडेंट्स एट टाइम, और जब दिया की टर्न आई तो उन्होंने क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट किया। शी वाज पुटिंग इन जर्नल फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स, दिया वाज द फर्स्ट वन टू आंसर। और जैसे होता है ना, दैट इज लाइक आई एम स्टिल हैविंग द गूज़बम्प, क्योंकि हमारा उस टाइम पे जो फीलिंग था, एक क्वेश्चन, सेकंड क्वेश्चन, external kept on asking and she kept on answering and she surprised us all. पहली बार मैंने दिया को इतना बोलते सुना था, but this is the thing, and that is why we need to celebrate mothers. All mothers work hard on their kids, but especially the special mothers, yes, they are putting that extra effort. तो आगे बढ़ते हुए मैं बस यही कहूँगी, माँ तुमसे कुछ बातें करनी हैं, जो दिल में दबा रखी वो टीस टटोलनी है, तुमसे जो छिपा रखी वो पर्दे खोलनी है। कभी बेफजूल बेलगाम तुमसे घंटों बतियाती हूँ, कभी तुम्हें कष्ट न पहुँचे जख्म भी अपने छिपा जाती हूँ। यूं तो तुम्हें सब मालूम हो जाता है, मन की नजर से सब भाप लेती हो, अपने आंचल का सुरक्षा चक्र बना आगोश में मुझे भर लेती हो। मैं कुछ कहूँ या ना कहूँ तुम सब जान लेती हो। फिर भी माँ तुमसे मुझे कुछ कहना है, कुछ बातें करनी है। माँ मुझे तुमसे कुछ बातें करनी है। एक बच्चा कोई भी हो, बेटा हो बेटी हो, हम सब अपनी माँ से अपने दिल की हर बात कहते हैं, लेकिन कभी हम बहुत कम ऐसा अवसर आता है जब हम ये सोचते हैं कि हमारी माँ को भी हमसे कुछ बातें कहनी हो सकती हैं। हमें उनकी भी टीस को टटोलना चाहिए, उनके भी दर्द को समझना चाहिए। जब ये सेशन मैं ले रही हूँ, मैंने इंट्रोडक्शन मांगा है एज मदर्स अपने तीनों पैनलिस्ट का, तो साथ ही मैं इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूँगी अपना भी। आई एम ऑल्सो मदर ऑफ 2 हैंडसम लविंग केयरिंग सन्स, लेकिन उस कैपेसिटी में आज इस सेशन को मॉडरेट नहीं कर रही मैं आज इस कैपेसिटी में सेशन को मॉडरेट कर रही हूँ वो ये है कि मैंने बहुत चाहा कि अपनी माँ के दिल का हाल भी जान सकूँ। आई एम a special daughter to a very special super mom. My mother, she is retired PCMS doctor और उन्होंने राजस्थान से पढ़ाई की है और राजस्थान की झुंझुनू डिस्ट्रिक्ट के बहुत छोटे कस्बे बुंदेलखंड से बिलोंग करती हैं, वहाँ पढ़ी लिखी, जहाँ लड़कियों के लिए स्कूल भी नहीं हुआ करता था। तो मेरी नानी who happened to be a headmistress, उन्होंने एक बॉयज स्कूल में उनको पढ़ाया और फिर उन्होंने अजमेर से she did her MBBS। उसके बाद my नानी she was a single mother, तो उन्होंने इंटर्नशिप के बाद ही मेरी मदर की मैरिज कर दी। she was under bond, तो राजस्थान में ही वहीं झुंझुनू डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ही गांव में जॉब कर रही थी। I was born there और एक साल जब मैं born हुई तो everyone मतलब my mother tells me only this much. I have a very little information about my journey, the initial journey। तो ये कहती है कि जो लोग देखते थे वो यही कहते थे कि परी हुई है, बहुत सुंदर बच्ची हुई है तुम, और नानी भी कभी कभी प्यार में कह देती थी कि नजर उतार दो, तुम इतनी काबिल नहीं जो तुम्हें परी जैसी बच्ची हो, इसको संभाल कर रखना। लेकिन 1.25 साल की उम्र में मुझे पोलियो वायरस का अटैक आया एंड आई गॉट इन्फेक्टेड विद पोलियो। तो एक बहुत खास वजह, क्योंकि नानी एक ऐसे गांव में ऐसे कस्बे में जहाँ गर्ल्स को पढ़ाना मतलब ही होता था, वहाँ वो शी वाज हेडमिस्ट्रेस, मदर डॉक्टर थी, तो सब लोग बहुत प्यार करते थे। मैं वैसे ही बहुत खास थी, लेकिन फिर स्पेशल टैग के साथ आ गई, जिसे अंडर कोट्स कह सकते हैं, स्पेशल डॉटर ऑफ अ स्पेशल मदर। माँ ने बहुत प्यार से पाला है, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बनाया है मुझे, बहुत सशक्त महिला के रूप में मैं उभरी हूँ, इस बात को मैं गर्व से कहती हूँ। लेकिन स्ट्रगल्स तो रहे हैं, बहुत सारे स्ट्रगल्स रहे हैं। उन स्ट्रगल्स को मैंने पास से देखा है, उनकी आंखों में देखा है, ज़्यादा उन्होंने कभी कहा नहीं, ज़्यादा मैंने पूछा नहीं, उन्होंने कहा नहीं। तो आज मुझे लगा मुझे आप सब से बात करनी चाहिए, उस इमोशन तक पहुँचने की कोशिश करनी चाहिए जो शायद मेरी माँ ने भी झेले होंगे, जो स्ट्रगल्स। तो अब आपको ये पूछूंगी, हर लड़की का एक सपना होता है कि मैं बड़ी होंगी, मेरी शादी होगी, और होता है बहुत सारे बच्चों का। आजकल के टाइम में हम कह देते हैं ये सपना नहीं है, हम प्रोफेशनली ग्रो अप करना चाहते हैं, पर ये भी रहता है। तो जब हम एज यंग वुमेन आप सोचते थे कि हाँ हमारी मैरिज और हमारे किड्स, आपकी फैमिली के बारे में आपका ख्याल रहा होगा, तो हम एक बहुत नॉर्मल लाइफ की कल्पना करते हैं। अब मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहती हूँ, when you first came to know about your child being differently abled, तो वो इमोशन क्या था आपका? तो मैं आप ही से शुरू करूँगी डॉक्टर जैस्मीन।
यस, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा। जब हम पहले इमेजिन कर रहे थे होते हैं, वी ऑलवेज इमेजिन अ वेरी नॉर्मल लाइफ फॉर अस। सो definitely we have a good life, but yes, a very different life. So my son was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3 years. उस टाइम पे तो definitely at that instant I would just like to explain that with an example, that it actually feels that your glass house of dreams is broken and each and every piece is piercing your heart. At that moment, yes, it does feel. But then, lucky, I was very lucky enough to have support of my parents, my family and friends who were always there to boost up my morale. And one of my friends guided me to Action for Autism, where I have also undergone myself a parent training of special education. I am a special educator myself. I got the whole training. And उस time मुझे yes, it was a month's time when I was disturbed, but within that time मुझे लगा कि now I don't have any more time to brood and waste. And जैसे at that time I used to hear ब्रह्म कुमारी, इसका नाम शिवानी. So I would just like to quote कि उसकी एक बात मुझे बहुत दिमाग में जैसे लग गई, जैसे it felt, मतलब it really affected me a lot. So she said कि it is possible for the parents, कि बहुत parents होते हैं वो खुद भूखे रहते हैं, they don't have money but they feed their children. It is possible for the parents कि वो खुद अनपढ़ हैं but they will educate their child, they will take it. But it is not possible for a parent to give happiness to a child if the parent is unhappy. You can only give happiness to your child if you are yourself happy. And frankly telling you, this quote turned me around. Because why was I brooding that whether my child will be happy or not? So yes, this definitely turned me around. And luckily there is one quote, smile and the world smiles with you, cry and you cry alone. We take it in a very negative and a selfish way, but many a times it is very positive. I found people who refused to cry with me, and in turn I learned to smile with them. It was that then definitely I started working a lot on my child. He was almost non-verbal at that time, and at least I can pat on my shoulder that I really worked quite hard for him, and in a very systematic way. I got a very good guidance. Actually, that is very important. Because autism is also a business in India where the parents do get very wrong guidances also, and they just go in and waste their money, waste their time in a hope कि एक दिन मेरा बच्चा so-called normal हो जाए. First of all, there is no definition of normal. There is no definition of normal. So I am very well prepared, and first challenge is we. If someone asks me what challenges I have faced, हर न्यूरोडाइवर्स के बच्चे में सबसे पहला चैलेंज हम खुद होते हैं, हमारी एक्सेप्टेंस होती है. It is not if we start accepting and if you respect your child, the society will respect your child. So instead of focusing on the fact or speaking, society should do this, society should do this, government should do this, government should do that, start working on it. Government India में क्या करती है, क्या नहीं करती, no need to discuss. As a parent, what you can do, and for that we do have a parents association also we support each other, we love each other. So definitely all that helped, and yes, we are growing along with children, and as Temple Grandin has said that it is very important to focus on what a child can do rather than what a child cannot do. So even for the parents of neurotypical children, I would please suggest don't make a frame of your life and your pictures child. इस फ्रेम में हमारे बच्चे को और हमारी जिंदगी को फिट होना चाहिए. That is the only cause of depression एंड ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ स्पेशल बच्चों के पेरेंट्स को ही डिप्रेशन है. इनफैक्ट इट हैज बीन अ सर्वे कि देयर आर वेरी फ्यू पेरेंट्स ऑफ स्पेशल चिल्ड्रन हु आर इन डिप्रेशन. डिप्रेशन इज नॉट कॉमन अमंग पेरेंट्स ऑफ स्पेशल चिल्ड्रन. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन इतनी तूफान की होती ही नहीं कि हाँ जी मेरे बेटे को तो जी बनना चाहिए, ये ना बना तो मैं तो गया, ये मैं तो गई. We also small happinesses of life. I would give you an incident. My son had like in autism, काफी sensory difficulties आती हैं, height issues आती हैं. So we had issues sitting on the cot. Height भी होता था, so we worked on it. And we do have a lot of visual strategies for it where we can slowly move towards it. And हमारे he is doing very well in the academics and all also. But autism के लिए पढ़ाई is not only academics. See, I work on his toilet also कि कैसे ऊपर जाना, उसने कपड़े कैसे ऊपर करने हैं because he had difficulties in his hair cutting. He had difficulties in his nail cutting. He still has that. Few of them, yeah. Brushing. So for us, padhai is also this, and in fact this is the most important. So he was 6 years of age when he at 2-3 years of age he used to sit. उसके बाद उसकी sensory difficulties बढ़ी हैं. So at 6 years of age, when one fine day he sat on bed, me and my husband were so happy that he brought pastries and patties and we all literally had a party. So I mean, it is almost an every day we can have a party. So we don't wait for having a party. And my son is such a foodie that I cannot tell you. So even I am gaining weight along with him because we have to eat a lot outside and we really thank you.
बहुत सुंदर बात कही है आपने डॉक्टर जैस्मीन, क्योंकि देखिए बात यही आ जाती है कि उन्होंने एक इतनी सुंदर बात कही कि हम लोगों के सपने बड़े हैं ही नहीं. हमारे सपने है ही नहीं कि हमारा बच्चा इंजीनियर बनेगा, IIT करेगा, ये बाहर जाएगा. हमारे सपने छोटे छोटे हैं. क्या वो बैठ रहा है, क्या वो फैमिली के साथ एंजॉय कर रहा है? तो जितने छोटे सपने होंगे खुशियाँ उतनी जल्दी अचीव होंगी.
So that does not mean that it is something less. जो it is very good if the child is successful, doing very well, but the main aim is independence in their life. So in whatever way they are gaining independence or happiness, there is no work which is small, there is no work which is less. In whatever way, if a person is happy, if a neurotypical child is happy doing IIT, wonderful. It's actually great, and parents have to work on it. Like I don't have that. But if my child is happy and independent, not only happy कि वो कहे कि हाँ जी मैं तो सारा दिन TV देखना चाहता हूँ, not that. But I also have to make him independent. But if he is independent doing small work and he can handle himself very well in life, good enough. Although we do have challenges, like our job opportunities are different. We don't have special schools at all places, so we cannot move around. I am an anesthesiologist. I chose to leave my dad's career and come to a job where I am doing home working in research. Whereas once upon a time I used to love my anesthesia. But I won't say that मैंने sacrifice किया. It was my choice and I am happy in it.
That's great.
It is not a pressure. It is not a sacrifice. It's my own happiness. So I am not burdening my child with मैंने तेरे लिए ये किया है, मैंने तेरे लिए वो किया, मैंने जो किया है अपने लिए ही किया, because that gave me happiness. So it's okay.
So we move to okay, हम आपके इमोशंस की बात भी करेंगे. हम जानना चाहेंगे कि आपकी फीलिंग्स कैसी हुई हैं, how have you dealt with those?
जनरली क्या होता है, आई थिंक ये चीज़ मैं 10 साल पहले डिस्कस करती तो मेरा टेक कुछ और होता और आज की डेट में टेक कुछ और है, बिकॉज यू ग्रो. So sometimes as a special parent or a special mother especially, you become challenged because आपका बच्चा एक प्रोजेक्ट बन जाता है जिसमें आपको विन करना होता है और आप एक पागलों की तरह रेस में दौड़ने लगते हैं जहाँ पर आपको थेरेपी करनी होती है, 4 तरह की क्लासेस करनी होती हैं, डॉक्टर्स के पास जाना होता है. सो वो कहीं ना कहीं आप सब कुछ छोड़ के वो बच्चा आपका जुनून बन जाता है. So to the younger parents, the first thing I tell is that you have to live along with that child.
अगर कहीं ना कहीं इस जर्नी में आप खत्म हो जाते हो या आपकी शायद हार्श वर्ड है आपकी मौत हो जाती है तो आप अपनी बच्चे को जिंदगी दे नहीं सकते हो, है ना। सो आई थिंक इनिशियली जब मुझे पता चला मानव को ग्रॉस मोटर है और मे बी मेंटली चैलेंज भी हो, शायद कभी चल ना पाए बिकॉज डॉक्टर्स समटाइम्स हैव टू टेल यू द रियलिटी. So I had this sofa in my room where I sat continuously for 2 days. I had lost my parents very early. I had lost a lot of pregnancies, and as we say, we are looking for perfection in life. तो मेरा बच्चा किसी कारण से perfect नहीं था, और शायद मैं भी गिल्टी थी कि पता नहीं कुछ कर दिया है मैंने कि मेरी वजह से the child is like that. So 2 days I did not move at all from that chair. And after 2 days I realized कि जैसा भी बच्चा होगा, चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, IQ लो होगी हाई होगी, हम जिंदगी जीना नहीं छोड़ेंगे. हम पार्टीज में जाएंगे, हम तैयार होएंगे, हम घर अच्छा रखेंगे. हाँ, एज IIT और ये सब करियर नहीं हो सकता, हम खुशी से जी तो सकते हैं. So that is the motto I started the NGO with. So we have a lot of fashion shows, और because कहीं ना कहीं मैं जी और साथ साथ that affected the child positively. The whole household was positive. And then secondly, even positivity is overrated. है ना? हमें इतना positive और इतना ज़्यादा contribution और इतना अच्छा, वही ना कहीं वो भी आपकी ईगो को फीड करने लगती है जब सब कहते हैं कि आप बड़ी अच्छी मदर हो, आप तो सुपर वुमन हो. नहीं, I'm equally broken and equally lousy. Ask my children. Probably they say, and I'm a spiritual healer. So one day I was screaming at my son. तो my son said कि खुद तो आप इतना preach करते हो कि relax रहा करो, अब क्या हुआ है ना? So I told him, see, if I was Sadhvi sitting with 40 chelas, I would be calm all the time. Here I am a mother, and now Bengali turned Punjabi, तो NCVC भी चलेगा, थप्पड़ भी पड़ेंगे और सब कुछ होएगा. तो जिंदगी हम normally जिएंगे. तो जब हम कहते हैं कि हमें गुस्सा नहीं करना चाहिए, हमें गालियाँ नहीं देनी चाहिए, हमें सब समय स्वीट रहना चाहिए, हमें पॉजिटिव रहना चाहिए, प्लीज, it is not possible as a human being. We all have this extreme super positivity outside. This is a garb that we put on, right? And यही break करते हैं special, क्योंकि वो जैसे हैं उनको वो चीज़ करनी ही नहीं आती है, right? So जिंदगी जीना नहीं छोड़ा. मैंने कोशिश करी कि मैं जिंदगी कहीं ना कहीं जीती रहूं, उसको पकड़ती भी रहूं, और मैं रोई भी बहुत. लोगों के सामने शायद ना रोई, बट बच्चों के साथ अच्छा बुरा सब शेयर किया. एक चीज और मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगी. About when my children were about 15-16, I realized I was this super mom, super house, super looking, super children, super friend, super entertainer, but it was killing me, this super womanness. So I suddenly decided I'm no longer going to be that super. तो एक दिन हमने घर पे बैठ के, me, my husband and both sons, I said the house is divided around 4 people, right? और सबकी ड्यूटी और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी 25-25% है. चलो मैं माँ हूँ, 50 कर दूँगी, बट बाकी everybody has to contribute. So that day I folded my hands of the super woman, perfect person. घर गंदा रहा, चीज़ें नहीं हुई, हमने बहुत दिन बात नहीं करी, बट इससे एक चीज़ हुआ, हर पर्सन ने अपनी कैपेसिटी से रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी शुरू हुई. सो मेरे बच्चों ने घर आते हुए कहा, मम्मा खाना बना है, बना ले कि मंगवा ले. So ये चेंज हुआ. तो ऐसे खाना खा के कहते थे ये क्या बना है, राइट? सो आई रियलाइज कि जब हम इक्वालिटी को विमेन कहते हैं ना, तो एज मदर्स हमें वो घर में अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. तो मैं बहुत दिन है जो किचन में नहीं जाती हूँ, बहुत दिन है सफाई नहीं करती हूँ, बहुत दिन है मैं बेड नहीं बनाती हूँ, मैं गुस्सा भी नहीं करती हूँ, क्योंकि हम सब वैसे ही अंदर घुस जाते हैं खुशी खुशी.
देखिए, आज ही मेरी बात मेरी मदर के साथ भी हुई. मेरा बेटा वापस आया है कॉलेज से समर ब्रेक के लिए, तो ऐसी बात है, तो कब आएगा मुझसे मिलने, कब हमारे पास रहने आएगा. मैंने कहा वो उसके अलग लाइफस्टाइल है, उसको मूवीज़ देखनी है, एक्शन मूवीज़ देखनी है, अगर आप उसके साथ देख सकते हो वो इंजॉय करेगा, वरना नहीं आएगा. तो वो हम लोग भी ऐसा ही करते हैं. अगर मुझे उसके साथ 2 घंटे 3 घंटे स्पेंड करने, तो आई वॉच व्हाटएवर एक्शन मूवी ही हैज़ टू वॉच. वो कहते नहीं, हम तो ऐसा करेंगे, जो वो कहेगा खाना है,
जो वो बनाने को कहेगा हम वो बना देंगे और उस तरह से हम उसको विल टेक केयर ऑफ इन दैट केस। मैंने कहा वो तो हमने 3 छोड़ दिया बहुत पहले। हमारे ये होता है जिस टाइम हम खा रहे हैं, जो हम खा रहे हैं तुमको खाना है तो ठीक है, नहीं तो फिर वो अगर उसको मिडनाइट तक जागना है तो खुद बनाता है, खुद खाता है। तो मदर्स आर एक्चुअली चेंजिंग एंड दिस थिंग्स आर एक्चुअली हेल्पिंग अस आउट। उसके बाद मैं आपसे पूछूंगी हाउ यू हैव डेल्ट विद द होल सिचुएशन।
मुझे बच्चा इतना प्यारा मिला था, बट जब 2 ईयर की एज में मैंने पता ये सब देखा कि इतना ज़्यादा लॉस है, तो मैं पूरी डिप्रेस हुई। तो पहले तो हुई, बट इमोशनली मैंने इसको अप किया, जॉब भी छोड़ दी, फिर मैंने पूरा इसके ऊपर डेडिकेशन वर्क किया। तो मेरे को एक इतनी अच्छी फ्रेंड मिल गई ना अपनी बेटी के रूप में कि मेरा पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ हो गया। हम दोनों ने इतना अच्छा टाइम स्पेंड किया पूरी लाइफ कि मेरे को किसी और फ्रेंड की ज़रूरत ही नहीं महसूस हुई, कि घर में ही मेरे को जो मेरी फीलिंग है मैं उसके साथ शेयर कर रही हूँ, जो उसकी फीलिंग है वो मेरे साथ शेयर कर रही है। ऐसे उसकी स्पीच थेरेपी भी हो रही है और हम इमोशनली एक दूसरे को स्ट्रॉन्ग भी बना रहे हैं। तो हम दोनों की इतनी अच्छी बॉन्डिंग हुई। टाइम बाय टाइम मैंने इसकी प्रॉब्लम सोल्यूशन की तरफ ध्यान दिया कि प्रॉब्लम तो समझना ही नहीं। ये चीज़ मैंने सीखी लाइफ में इसके साथ रह के कि अगर चंडीगढ़ जैसे शहर में, जैसे मेरी फ्रेंडली नेचर है, मैं छोटे शहर से आई हूँ और मैं बड़ी सोशल नेचर की थी, तो मैंने कहा यहाँ तो कोई मुझे मिलता ही ना, अगर दिया ना होती तो मैं किसी के साथ अच्छी तरह टाइम ही ना स्पेंड कर सकती। जैसे इसकी नेचर है वैसी मेरी नेचर है, जैसे मेरी नेचर है, हम एक दूसरे के साथ इतना अच्छी फ्रेंडली, मतलब ऐसा बॉन्ड मिलना ना मुश्किल है। एक बंदा भी मिल जाए घर में आपको तो आपकी पूरी लाइफ सक्सेसफुल हो जाती है ना? जो मैं अपने मन की बात है पूरी शेयर इसके साथ कर लेती हूँ, और जो इसके मन की बात है पूरी शेयर मेरे साथ। इवन डीपली बात भी ये मेरे को बता देती है, मैं अपनी इसकी बात बता देती हूँ। तो ऐसा बॉन्ड नहीं मिल सकता लाइफ में, और जिसको मिलता है वो गॉड गिफ्टेड ही मिलता है, वो मेरे को इसमें मिला।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो हमारी जो बातचीत है, क्योंकि रीटा जी यहाँ पर आ गई हैं, तो फाइनल्स करने का टाइम है ऑब्वियसली। तो बस यही कहूँगी कि जब हम सुपर मॉम्स या स्पेशल मॉम्स की बात करते हैं और स्पेशल किड्स की बात करते हैं, तो बच्चों की ज़िंदगी बेहतर बनाने के लिए और अपनी ज़िंदगी भी बेहतर बनाए रखने के लिए ज़रूरी है कि जो लिमिटेशंस हैं उनको एक्सेप्ट किया जाए। अक्सर क्या होता है, हम भागते हैं, हम एस्केपिज्म में रिलीफ ढूंढते हैं, और जैसे ही हम अपनी प्रॉब्लम से, रियल प्रॉब्लम से भागना शुरू करते हैं, तो ना तो हम बच्चे की हेल्प कर पाते हैं और ना खुद की, और ना समाज में ही हम एडजस्ट हो पाते हैं। तो ये 2-4 पंक्तियों के साथ मैं अपनी बात को वाइड अप करती हूँ। ये दर्द मेरा मुजरिम है, महबूब भी मेरा है यही, ये दर्द मेरा रहनुमा है मेरे सुनेपन को राहत भी। यूं भी जो बस में भी नहीं उसकी फिक्र क्या करे, फिक्र करने से क्या ये दर्द कम हो जाएंगे। आओ इस फिक्र की मस्त मॉकटेल बनाकर पिए, जिंदा हैं तो क्यों ना फिर हम जिंदा दिली से जिए। Thank you so much, Thank you so much. And please, loudest round of applause for this person. They deserve it. They are doing such a fabulous job. And before I ask, celebrating her birthday today, yes. Devyani Singh, can we all wish her a very happy birthday? Very happy. Yeah, why did you stand up? A round of applause for her. Very happy birthday to her. We will, I request you all to come on to the stage for a photograph session with the panelists first, with ma'am, and then with all the panelists and the moderators. All the panelists and the moderators, can we have you here on the stage?
Right, please. Samne, yes. Wait, so wait.
CLS social media handles. The videographer is here, so all of you.
So big thanks to all the moderators, participants, speakers, the super moms, the strong super women, moving for staying back till the last session. The tea has been arranged just outside this hall. Request you to please join for that, and looking forward to the same enthusiasm in subsequent events as well.